We're counting in. We're going live. There's still people moving around in the studio. And by studio, I mean our office. We'll give it just a second and get everybody live. Hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday. It is another Automotive Fridays here from sunny Central Florida. I am Derek. I am with the Cardone Group, and Grant, as usual, has allowed us to hijack his channel for the next 20 minutes to talk about negotiations. We're going to keep talking about negotiations. We're going to spend a little bit of time getting a little bit deeper into the negotiation process. We're going to talk about negotiating logically, not just numerically. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with this, and we're going to see what happens. And I'm not sure if we just broke everything. We're giving it a second as we go live on some of the other channels. We should be live to you on our Facebook page, our Instagram page, and we are live on Grant Cardone's YouTube channel. And as always, appreciate you, Grant, for letting us hijack your channel for 20 minutes on a Friday afternoon. That's right. We want to help you 10x your sales process. Really been talking with everybody over the last couple of weeks about what does it take to be successful in regards to negotiations. And I said it as I started this show, but we want to talk about how do we negotiate logically and not just numerically. Unfortunately, when we go out and we travel across the U.S. and Canada and we take a look at what's happening in the negotiations, we see some crazy things happening. We see some absolutely insane things happening. They're not good. I was in a store not too long ago, and I was watching the salespeople make a presentation of figures, and the salesperson walked back over and he said, hey, my boss said, we'll sell you the car for 24 grand. What do you think? That's probably implying to the customer right out of the gate that that's too expensive, too much, that we can come down in the price. So we need to be careful how we use our words and phrases and what we actually say. We say it all the time. The difference between extremely successful salespeople and the average ordinary salesperson is just the words they choose to use. So let's take a look. Let's just go back to last week's episode and let's talk a little bit about how to make that initial presentation of figures using the worksheet. Now, this is our e-pencil worksheet. And I know you guys have seen this before. I know it's not exactly the best lighting here, but that's what we got. That's what we're working with. I've been out on the road this week. We haven't been able to get anything else changed, so we're going with what we got. So e-pencil, right? Using full disclosure to negotiate, to give us an opportunity to create that volume and profit that we need as a car salesman. So when we make that initial presentation of figures, it's all about how we set it up from the beginning. Remember, we're walking around outside with that customer. We're going through the process. We walk through the inventory with the customer, and we look at the customer and we say, hey, Mr. Customer, you know the hardest part about buying a truck these days is finding one that you like. Now, we're going to help you with that. We're going to find that vehicle that's right for you and your family. That's the hardest part about this whole process. So as we go through that and we bring them inside and we transition into the negotiations and we go up and we work with our manager and we get those figures and we come back over, we're going to come back in and we're going to transition right into that presentation of figures. And we say to the customer, hey, Mr. Customer, you did the hard part. You found that car, you found that vehicle that you like. Now you need to do is decide how you want to pay for it. And I brought you some options. And we lay down the worksheet in front of them. Now, last week I was really emphatic about talking about you want to ask the customer to buy before they have a chance to object. Too often when we see negotiations and the salesperson starts a line by line disclosure of everything that's happening in the negotiations, they say, hey, I talked to my boss, it was 22.2, we'll give you 1,000 off, that means we'll sell it to you for 21.2, right? What does that immediately give the customer the opportunity to do? Object, right? We need to ask them to buy before they have a chance to get too deep into that objection. So how do we do it? It's very simple. Hey, you did the hard part, you found that car that you like. Now you need to do is decide how you want to pay for it. I brought you some options. Based on that vehicle you selected, the current market value of your vehicle, we prepared 9 payments based on an average APR and 9 leases allowing 12,000 miles a year. All I need you to do is circle the payment that works best for you and your family, sign here at the bottom, and I'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. That's the presentation we're shooting for. Why do we do that? I told you last week, there's only 5 possible money objections. That's right, 5, right? That's a big hand right there. 5 money objections. Price is too high. It's not enough for my trade. Don't have that much money down. I can't afford the monthly payment, or the interest rate's too high. That's it. That's all that they can possibly say. So think about that for a second. If you are a trained ninja level sales professional, what are you going to do? You're going to practice overcoming those objections. If you know what the possible objections to a customer are, right, from a customer are, you know how to handle them. So, hey, you did the hard part. You found the vehicle that you like. Now you need to do is decide how you want to pay for it. I brought you some options. Based on the vehicle you selected, the current market value of your vehicle, we prepared 9 payments based on an average APR and 9 leases, allowing 12,000 miles a year. All you need to do, circle the payment that works best for you and your family, sign here at the bottom. I'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. Now, I have actually asked the customer to buy before they've had a chance to object. That's what I've done. I've asked them to buy, right? I told them, sign at the bottom, we'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. It's not a what do you think? It's not a how does it sound? This is a statement that says, let's do business, right? Circle the payment works for you and your family, sign at the bottom, we'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. Now, we've been tracking deals inside of ePencil for the last 17 years, right? We brought it out in 2001. We've had over 30 million deals desk inside of ePencil. And in that, there's one thing that we know, and you guys know this as well, is that the price is not the number one objection that the customer comes at you with. So when we look at this and we're negotiating with the customer, depending on how your dealership is set up and how you've structured the deal, right? As you've transitioned through this negotiation experience, we need to think about a couple of things. If I go back over with zero money down, right? What happens? If I offer the customer a purchase with no money down, what do I have to negotiate with in regards to the down payment? I don't. So we have to be careful about that. Part of the challenge with this is that when we are outside and we're going through the negotiation experience with the customer, we're going through the selection process with the customer, right? And we're asking them questions and we're taking them through things. If we say to a customer, hey, how much money do you want to put down? What do they say to you? They say zero, right? Nothing, zippo, nada. So think about that. We don't want to ask that question preemptively because we want to start our deals with money down. What's cash down doing a deal, right? It improves the buyer's position, puts us in a good position in regards to the monthly payment. It'll allow them to trade earlier, right? Those are all those old cash is king things that we used to talk about. But the reality is it's going to help you get the deal financed, right? So they're carrying any negative equity at all, right? That money down is going to help it get financed. It's going to lower the customer's monthly payments. It just puts you in an overall better position in regards to negotiations. That's the first part. Second part is customers traditionally negotiate based upon an immediate pain point. What do I mean by that? Right? So the car's $22,000, right? The payment is $458, right? Well, how much cash do they got to come out of their pocket with today? Well, that $458 is with $4,500 down. For most customers, that's an immediate pain point. We've been tracking the average down payment at our dealerships for the last 17 years. And you know, when you work with a dealership team that's focused on presenting a worksheet with the money down in that first pass, it drives up the volume and gross profit because it helps allow them to get deeper into the negotiations logically. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. It's going to be really hard to see here on the worksheet, but almost everybody that's watching this has seen some form of electronically presented worksheet. Again, this is ePencil, and this is ours, right? It's fully disclosed. It's got all the information on there. What we're going to do is I'm going to just put the numbers up here on this whiteboard. This is, by the way, this is Grant's magic whiteboard. He gave this to us in December when we were down at the office, man. This thing, I can't even imagine the millions of dollars that this has generated. So thank you, Grant. That's a beautiful little whiteboard. We're going to use that. So now I'm going to write these figures up on the screen because I want you to see the logic behind this. When we came out with the multi-payment worksheet, nobody understood why we were doing it. They didn't get it, right? Why do you have 9 payments? What's the point of it? It's because it's logical. And here's what you're going to see. So let's look at this. So in this worksheet example, I have $2,500 down. I have $3,500 down. I have $4,500 down. The monthly payments for the longest term are $504, $481, and $458. I left out the 2 middle terms just for the sake of doing this, and I want you to see the logic we built into the worksheets. When we did this, the whole design was to make it so that the salesperson doesn't have to run back to the desk, right? We want to eliminate trips to the desk. There's no reason to be running back and forth to the desk unless we have to. So now, as a salesperson, what do we want to do? We want to be in control of the deal. So to be in control of the deal, you have to take responsibility for doing the right actions in the deal. So let's look at that. I started my deal. I've worked with my manager. He gave me $2,500, $3,500, and $4,500 down. That's a $1,000 increment on the down payment. The monthly payments went from $458, $481 to $504. Now watch the logic, okay? So when I make my presentation, remember, I'm making my presentation to the customer. I say, hey, circle that payment, sign here at the bottom. I'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. I'm asking them to buy. Right? The customer looks at me and he goes, $458, $4,500 down. I don't got it. Right? What does Grant say? Always get into agreement first. Hey, man, I understand. I'm with you. No big deal. Go with the $3,500 down. Go with the $3,500 down. Derek, I can't do that. No worries. Go with the $2,500 down. Right? Go with the $2,500 down. Man, I don't want to do that. When I came in, I didn't want to put any money down. The most I could come up with is $500. Okay, so there's some psychological things that are happening here. There's some logic that we built in. I'm not going to get into that right now, but I want to show you what happens as we go through this negotiation experience. So I'm asking the customer to buy, circle and sign. He says, ooh, I can't do 4,500. I say, no problem. Go with 3,500. Is it logical, right? Everybody tracking? Yeah. He says, I can't do that. I say, go with 2,500. He says, Derek, I can't. I didn't want to put any money down. I could come up with 500 bucks. Okay. Now, unfortunately, there's two things that we see happen, right? Forget this for a second. The first thing that we see is that the salesperson goes back and says, hey, it's $4,500 down. It's $458 a month. The guy goes, oh, I can't afford that much money down. And they say, what could you do, right? When you ask what could you do, right? How much could you come up with? They're going to give you a minimal amount. Most of them are going to start at zero again. They're going to say, hey, yeah, no, really, nothing. I don't want to do any money down, all right? So we just got pickled there. The second thing that's going to happen, though, is that unfortunately, we see this with salespeople all the time. They'll say, well, how much money could you come up with? And they say, well, nothing. I want to be no money down. And they say, okay, so no money down, $458 a month, you do the deal. I want you to think about that. Right now, we're asking for $4,500 down at $458. Why would it still be the same at zero down, right? Most salespeople don't logically justify that change in payment based upon the down payment. It's dangerous, okay? We need to have logic in our negotiations. So if the down payment goes down, what happens to the monthly payment? Down payment goes down, monthly payment has to go up. So now, here's where we're at. 45, don't have it. 35, don't have it. 25, don't have it. Most it could come up with is 500. Hey, we're a full service dealership. Let's take a look at the numbers. We call this drawing rainbows. I don't know where that came from, but that's what we call it. When you went from 3,500 to 2,500, your down payment changed by $1,000. Your monthly payment went from 481 to 504. Your monthly payment changed by $23. Did I just show them the logic of the down payment being associated with the monthly payment? Yeah. So every $1,000 you put down changes your monthly payment by $23 a month. Simple. It's math, right? We talk about this all the time with salespeople. There's no big deal. It's not a secret. This isn't anything tricky. It's just math. You put less money down, your monthly payment's going to go up, right? So if we went from 2,500 to 1,500, your payment's going to change by $23. We go 1,500 to 500, your payment's going to change by $23. Now, we have it written out. We've made two logical moves, 25 to 15, 15 to 500. We've also gone from 504. We've added the 23. We've changed the payment by 23, right? We changed it by 23 again. So now we're going to do a little bit of really basic math, okay? We have to add these numbers together. And I found in working with customers that if I do it verbally while I'm talking through this with them, they understand it better. So I say 3 and 3 is 6 and 4 is 10. Carry the 1, 2, 4, and 5. All right. So that means with your $500 down, we're at $550 a month. I just need your initials here and here, full legal name at the bottom. Get your car clean and ready for immediate delivery. I've logically explained where we are in the negotiation process based upon the figures that we were delivering to them without having to run back to my manager. Now, that's pretty important because when you look at this, who's in control of the deal right now? I am, right? I'm helping the salesperson. I'm moving in the direction. I'm the salesperson. I'm helping the customer. I'm moving in the direction of the customer's objections without having to go get my manager. Okay. Is this number real? Yeah, that number's real. You can deliver the car at that. As long as the person can get finance for it, you can deliver the car for that. And it makes sense. So we've put ourselves in a position where we've actually logically shown them what it takes to purchase a car with less money down. And we've asked them to buy again. Now, I said it last week. I said we want to ask the customer to buy without giving them a reason to object. The next objection, they came up with the down payment, right? So now I've overcome that. Remember what I said last week? We want to overcome it with no discount. I did that. I haven't given them anything here. Okay, right? Just because I've done this, I don't fully expect that the customer is just going to roll over and go, okay, I'll take it. I'd love it if they do. That's not necessarily what's going to happen. What's probably going to happen? What do we know? They're going to probably object to the monthly payment. They're probably going to go, that payment's too high. That's okay. I'm trained. I'm ready, right? I've practiced how to overcome those objections, and I've put myself in a position where I know what to say when the customer says that. So let's run through this one more time. I need a little dry eraser here. one more time. Okay, I walk back to the customer. Mr. Customer, you did the hard part. You found that vehicle you want to purchase. Now all you need to do is decide how you want to pay for it. I brought you some options. Based on the vehicle you selected, the current market value for your vehicle, we prepared 9 payments at an average APR and 9 leases allowing 12,000 miles a year. All I need you to do, circle the payment, works best for you and your family, sign here at the bottom, get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. Boom. Lay it down. I'll wait for the customer. Remember, 5 money objections: price, trade, money down, monthly payment, or interest rate, right? They look at it. They go to the immediate pain point. We know this from tracking these 31 million deals in ePencil, right? We know this. This is where the most customers go, right? I'm not going to tell you a ridiculous number because I really truly believe that 67.8% of all statistics are made up on the spot, but it's a lot, okay? A lot of people go right here to this. So now I'm making my presentation. He says, I can't do 4,500. I go, hey, I'm with you. Totally get it. Go with the $3,500 down. Can't do that, Derek. No worries. Go with the $2,500 down. Man, I can't do that. I didn't even want to put any money down. Most I could come up with is $500. Okay, we're a full service dealership. Let's look at the numbers. When you go from $3,500 to $2,500, your down payment changed by $1,000. Your monthly payment went from $481 to $504. It's just math, guys, right? It's just math. Your monthly payment changed by $23. So every $1,000 changes your monthly payment $23, right? $2,500 to $1,500 changes it by 23. $1,500 to $500 changes it by 23. So 3 and 3 is 6, 4 is 10. Carry the 1, 2, 4, 5. That means with your $500 down, $550 a month. Need your initials here, full legal name here. I'll get your car cleaned and ready for immediate delivery. Again, I'm being very direct in asking them to buy, right? There's no misunderstood here. This isn't a good idea or what do you think or how does that sound? This is, hey, let's do this deal, right? This is an excellent offer. I know it's a great product. I know we're the right dealership to do business with, right? I'm the right salesperson for you to be working with. Let's get this thing done. Now, I'm hoping that they're going to say, yes, I'll take it. I'm also prepared if they say I can't afford the monthly payment, right? I know exactly what I'm going to say next, right? I know exactly how I'm going to get into that and how I'm going to overcome that. So let's just talk about this big picture real quick, okay? So logical exchanges. This is logical, right? Everybody can see that. Money down, less money down, higher monthly payment. It's just simple, right? It's a logical exchange with the customer. I'm not emotional, not making stuff up. I'm not saying if I could, would you, which I will, if I have to. I'll get to if I could, would you. That's not where I'm at. So right now I'm having a logical exchange with the customer. It's simple, it's easy, and it puts me in a position as the salesperson where I didn't have to hit the eject button on my desk and run back up to the manager and go, hey, oh, they don't got that much money down, right? I didn't have to do that because I could go through this logically with them. Now, I know a lot of you out there aren't using either ePencil or another electronically generated worksheet with multiple options as far as the down payment. What can you do? You can ask your manager, how much does $1,000 change your monthly payment? Just ask them, how much does $1,000 change your monthly payment? If they started you at $4,500 and $458, you say, how much did $1,000 change the payment? They say $23, you say, great. You can do the same, we call this a down payment roll down. You do the same down payment roll down with only one payment and one down payment, as long as you know how much it changes. Now, with this, it's a lot more logical, okay? Because they can see the differential. It's math again, right? It's just math. They can see the difference. They can see the difference. They can go through this. It's easy for them. They get engaged. They believe it. Okay, so that's what we wanted to talk about this week. We wanted to talk about getting that logical presentation, not emotional. We're asking them to buy based on facts. We're making it easy for the customer to agree because they can see exactly where we're coming from. Okay, pretty simple, pretty easy. Big picture. We want to help you 10x your sales process. Every week on Friday, right here, Automotive Fridays, we'll give you one little tidbit that'll help you make more money this weekend, help you sell more cars. There's a link in the description that'll allow you to subscribe to reminders. I appreciate Grant letting us hijack his channel again on a Friday afternoon. Oh, hey, Cardone Institute. I've been talking about Cardone Institute a lot. We just finished up. We had almost 30 people downstairs that were going through the manager's training. Listen, we had some life-changing events this week. If you haven't been to one of the Cardone Institute manager trainings, please come in July. Got another one in October. You can go to CardoneInstitute.com, check it out. We'll answer any questions that you have on that. Anybody that still wants to do a retail process assessment, we're getting in about 10 to 15 of those a week. We're calling all the dealers back, reviewing the information off of that retail process assessment, giving them leading practices to help them solve their automotive problems. That lives at 10xyourprofits.com. So CardoneInstitute.com, 10xyourprofits.com. Hey, hit me up. Let's talk about ePencil. Let's talk about how we can help you sell more cars, make more money. Market-based pricing is not going away, people. It's here. We need to learn how to deal with it. We need to be successful in regards to handling with all the customers. So Automotive Fridays, I'll see you next Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Sign up at the link. Hit us up, 10xyourprofits.com, CardoneInstitute.com. I appreciate y'all being here. Talk to you soon.